Oh, come on, just work for 1 minute. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the James Knows Nothing channel for my upload for this 6 months, and then give me another 6 months and there'll be another upload. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying the fucking waterfall of content that has been my channel over the last half a year. Sorry about that, not sorry. But welcome back to the channel where you watch a man who knows absolutely nothing about anything try and talk about something. And as you can probably tell from the title of today's video and the thumbnail, corner wasn't even taken that quickly, it is about Mr. Alexander-Arnold. So I've done a bit of like brainstorming and made a few notes, so I'm just going to talk about the whole thing because it's getting a little bit messy, I think. So right now, as it stands, it is the 3rd of April 2025, and there still is no agreement or evidence, concrete evidence, that Trent is definitely going to go and sign for Real Madrid. However, about a week ago, Fabrizio Romano, who as much as I think has ruined a lot of the best aspects of transfers, is a very reliable source. He normally gets these kinds of things correct. He put out an Instagram post last week basically saying that Trent was 99% signed for Real Madrid, and that every indication is that this time next season Trent will be a Real Madrid player. This has obviously been met with a lot of different reactions. Obviously Liverpool fans are not particularly happy with Trent, and I can understand why, because it's not only that we're losing Trent, one of our best players, on a free transfer, we're losing him in his prime. It's just, there's never a good way to lose a player like Trent, who's come through the academy and, you know, means a lot to the people of Liverpool. But this is like one of the worst ways to lose a player. You're losing a player to, as much as like that we don't play in the same country as Real Madrid, Liverpool have lost 2 Champions League finals to Madrid now. Like, there's definitely some bad blood between the two teams, and Trent is going over to join Real, and obviously, like I said, on a free transfer. Liverpool are going to get no financial compensation for this transfer, which is a bit crap. But I suppose also the only silver lining is we didn't pay anything for Trent either, because he came through the academy. So we're not losing, we're just breaking even. But Trent realistically is a player that in today's market should be going anywhere between like 90 and 110 million, I would say. So to lose out on that kind of money is annoying. But it's more the player, the message this sends to the rest of the league, the example this may set to other players of like Trent. And this is another reason why Liverpool fans are very annoyed, because there is now a history of media interviews and online articles in which Trent has talked about his loyalty to Liverpool and his love for the city and his love for the fans and for Anfield and the club. He's talked about how he's wanted to stay at Liverpool for his entire career, and then all of a sudden he wants to go to Real Madrid. It's just, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow. Now, I've been reading around online, and there is a theory that this whole Trent and Real Madrid love affair has been going on for a lot longer than maybe it's implied, because Trent was first linked to Real Madrid in 2021, and he's always been linked with Madrid, not only because he's obviously commercially, he is a Galactico, he's one of the most famous footballers on the planet, which is the sort of profile Real Madrid go for, but also because Dani Carvajal has been on his last legs for a long time now, so it would make sense that Madrid would always have one eye on who's going to replace him, and Trent has always been apparently a point of interest to Carlo Ancelotti and to Florentino Perez and all these guys. And yeah, so he signed a contract extension in 2021 as a 21-year-old for 4 years. When signing that extension, he probably was aware that he'd be reaching the pinnacle, the peak of his powers, which he is now. At his age is 26 to like 31. For most footballers, that's the pinnacle, that's the peak, that's where they play their best football. And yeah, maybe there was an eye on, he always knew that was going to be his last Liverpool contract. But I don't know, it's difficult. For me personally, I can only go off what I've seen, and I think that there's a lot of different things going on, which has resulted in Trent wanting to go to Madrid. I think that there's certainly been a shift of focus for him, at least in the media. He may have always been like this. Again, I only see what I can see in the media. It seems like Trent, when he started out at Liverpool, was a lot more focused on the club and on Liverpool, basically. And in recent months, in recent years, I have noticed a little bit of a shift where he did that Sky Sports interview where he had to rank like what his biggest aspirations were, and he had to rank World Cup with England, Ballon d'Or, be Liverpool captain, and he kind of brushed off the Liverpool captain one, saying, oh, it's not my decision, so I can't really choose that one. But that's not what the question was saying. He's saying, if you could choose to be Liverpool captain, would you? And he ended up saying that he wanted to win the Ballon d'Or. And I'm just going to also back that up by saying that there was another interview he did in which he said he wanted to be the best right back of all time. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I do not think Trent Alexander-Arnold is anywhere near that conversation yet, and I'm not sure whether going to Real Madrid is actually going to help him that much anyway. He wants to be the first first fullback to win a Ballon d'Or. Now, sure, Ballon d'Or winners do normally play for Madrid or Barcelona. I think there's a hint of delusion there. Like, I understand he's a professional athlete, he's a world-class talent, therefore he has to set his standards high. But I just think, like, for me, the idea of Trent winning a Ballon d'Or as a right-back would mean that he would have to be head and shoulders above any other right-back on the planet, have to be so good at being a right-back that he outshines players who are great in their other positions, like strikers or wingers, who the media are always going to focus on more and we're always going to appreciate more as fans, because realistically wingers and strikers are way more interesting to watch than fullbacks. I don't think Trent has that ability. He's always been a very average defender, and then he's unreal at, you know, his crossing and his passing and his switching and all that other malarkey. But the bottom line is, I don't think going to Real Madrid is going to make him that much of a better defender. He is an average defender, and that's a fact, and I do not see a world in which an average defender can win the Ballon d'Or for being a defender. And also there is an element to it, I've written down here, that this kind of whole transfer to me makes me realise that the Ballon d'Or for players as well now has got nothing to do with individual talent and how good the actual winner is at football. It's just about trophies, because Trent realistically isn't going to improve that much whether he's playing for Liverpool or Real Madrid. So the only reason he's going to Real Madrid is because they're realistically going to win more trophies than Liverpool in the next, 5 to 10 years, which is going to help his case to win a Ballon d'Or. But therefore, that means that the value of winning trophies is more important to winning a Ballon d'Or than the player's individual talent. If an average right back can win the Ballon d'Or for being average at being a right back, but he's won a World Cup and a Champions League, then the game's gone. Because it's realistically, if England were to win the World Cup, or if Real Madrid were going to win the Champions League, is Trent going to be a standout star who would have dragged either one of those teams to the World Cup or Champions League? Simple answer is no. No, he's not. So therefore, it really makes me question where the Ballon d'Or is these days, when players who are competing for it think, I have to move clubs to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't have to get better as a player. Even though the Ballon d'Or definitively is about who's the best player in the world. I think this whole Trent saga encapsulates what is also wrong with the Ballon d'Or these days for me. I also think there are some danger signs in this for Liverpool. It's getting worryingly close to the end of the season now, and Van Dijk hasn't signed a new contract. Salah has not signed a new contract. Trent is also potentially going to leave, and no signings were made except for Federico Chiesa in the summer. And I will admit, Liverpool have had a really good season. We're going to win the league. It's fucking amazing. It's only the second time I've ever seen Liverpool win a league title in my life. I've supported them for like nearly 20 years. But you've also got to be a realist in these situations. We could potentially lose three of the best players who've ever played for our club. We still haven't really been linked with anyone massively, and I'm starting to wonder, is there a correlation there? Is there a reason that these three players aren't signing a new contract and are looking potentially to move on to other clubs? Is it because maybe there is some stuff going on behind the scenes at Liverpool that we're not seeing? I don't necessarily think it might be Arne Slot, but I think with recruitment, maybe Trent, Salah, Van Dijk aren't seeing a lot of movement, aren't seeing a lot of talk about reinforcements and building upon this league title win to retain it. And like I said, I'm just fucking hypothesizing. Three of your best players all leaving in the same window and not signing contract extensions. Wouldn't you maybe think there's something going on? You tell me in the comments. Maybe this league title is acting as makeup for maybe the ugly truth. Moving on from Liverpool bollocks like that, but sticking on the topic of Liverpool. A lot of comparisons between Trent and Gerrard I've seen online. And I might be way off the mark here, but to me, Trent can't lace, even if he wasn't going to Madrid, Trent couldn't lace Gerrard's boots. Like, Trent has won everything there is to win with Liverpool already, and now is probably moving on because he's achieved those things. Gerrard stuck with Liverpool when he was clearly head and shoulders better than a lot of the players at the club, and he could have moved to different clubs and played in a lot more of a competitive side and won a lot more trophies, but he decided to stay loyal to Liverpool and pick serving a club that weren't necessarily going to bring him those trophies at the end of his career, rather than move elsewhere to get those trophies. The whole Trent situation is completely different. Trent, first of all, is not one of the best players in the world. He's just not one of the best players in the world. He's very good at doing a couple of things. He is probably the best player in the world at doing a couple of things. To be one of the best players in the world, you probably have to be okay at defending. To be a best right back in the world, at least, you probably have to be more than an average defender. Whereas Stevie G was one of the best players in the world. I don't get where the comparisons lie, really, except for the fact they're both scouts and both came through the academy. Stevie G had way more benefit. He would have way more of a benefit for leaving Liverpool than Trent does. Trent can stay at Liverpool as an average player and win loads of trophies. Gerrard could have left Liverpool as a world-class player to win trophies he hadn't already won. I don't get the comparisons at all. Whether or not you think that the whole treatment of Trent is right or not, I'm not that. I think he's chosen to run down his contract and leave in the way he has. So therefore, if he's not going to respect the club in that regard, then he shouldn't expect any respect back from the fans, in my opinion. Personally, I'm a Liverpool fan. I actually, contrary to the idea that I'm making a video about him, actually wish Trent all the best. I think he's been an amazing player for us, and I understand why he would want to leave. But in these videos, I have to be impartial. You can't criticise the Liverpool fans who are hating on him, but you also can't criticise the Liverpool fans who wish him well. It's just football being fickle. But yeah, you're also probably wondering how we got into this mess in the first place. I think it's fairly simple. Trent signed that 4-year extension in 2021. I think he, like I said, always had one eye on Madrid, and I think Madrid always had one eye on him as well. And then when Madrid probably realised they would be able to get Trent on a free transfer, for Real Madrid, they're always having to pay above standards for players because the entire world knows how much money they've got. To know they could get a Trent who is like a commercially huge player, loved by loads of fans around the world, like a global image at this point, for a free is like a no-brainer for them. When Trent saw Jude Bellingham go over to Madrid, that probably changed things a lot for him as well. The idea of going to Madrid by yourself and having to step up as the only English player in the squad, the only player that doesn't speak Spanish in the squad, can be quite daunting. Look at Gareth Bale. He really struggled to fit in, being one of the only Brits, I think the only British player to play for Madrid since David Beckham. And look, that took a massive toll on him, and it completely corrupted and ruined his relationship with Madrid fans, even though he was amazing for them on the field. Whereas Trent could go to Madrid with one of his best mates being in the squad, who has already been there for, at this point, 2 years, knows the city, knows the culture, knows the language, knows the team, knows how to handle the media. Trent has someone who can show him how to do all of that. So again, having Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid is probably a big factor in it. And, you know, Trent has always been like, he's a good-looking, well-dressed kind of flash guy, and he suits Madrid. Like, realistically, he suits the like Galacticos kind of style and brand. He just suits Madrid. The fashionista, he likes the camera, and it kind of, again, it just makes sense off the pitch. Like I said, maybe not as much on the pitch, but as I said, at the moment, there's nothing official that's come out about Trent potentially signing a contract extension or signing for Madrid. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But that was kind of just my opinions on all of it. I think a lot of it is quite contrived. I think a lot of it has gotten a bit overly hostile now. There's no need to be as negative as people are being about Trent. He still played like 300 games for the club. Like, give him a little bit of respect. If he was from Birmingham, then Liverpool fans would be nowhere near as heartbroken about this. You guys let me know what you think. Like I said, it's a shame that transfers like this have to be so negative, but I think it also highlights how much Trent means to the city of Liverpool and to the club. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.